Phil here, Next 72 Hours. Just out and about today in the Cornubia Forest Bushland here. This is the way I've come. This is the entrance to the park from this end anyway. Probably a kilometre walk from the roads, maybe less, 750 metres. What you can do is you can continue up here behind me here, which is just a concrete path, and that is probably about a 45-minute walk, or behind me this way here you've got a branch off up into the hills. And then I've been up here for 4 or 5, 6 hours before at a time, and there's always somewhere new to go and have a look around. So it's small, but it's sizable nonetheless, and I think that's where we're going to go today. Just going to go up for a couple of hours and show what it's like up there. It's pretty interesting bush. You know, this is as far as a crow flies, it's about, from where we are now, it's probably maybe a kilometre and a half this way to my father's house, but backs onto a lot of houses here. This way again about a kilometre, this way here, quite a few k's through this little thing, but again probably only a kilometre or so to the roadway there. But that being said, while we're so close to civilization, these are the sort of forests where there's no real landmarks or anything to see by. So if you were to come off this trail here, although it looks well marked now, but if you were to walk a couple of 100 metres in this way, you'd really be poked. If you didn't have a GPS or know how to use a compass or know where you were, you could easily get lost in. This is the sort of area that we get called out a lot for the SES, for the search and rescue for missing people. It's just, despite how close we are to houses and the roadside, it is easy to get disoriented in here if you get yourself off the track. So it certainly pays to have some sort of skills in bushcraft and how to use a compass and all that sort of thing, and keep a GPS or compass with you. I've got my pack down here today. This is the one that I've done a review on recently, and I have my 406 megahertz GPS beacon with me here, the ACR Rescue Link, should need be. It's been pre-programmed with where I'm going today, just to help them out if I need searchers to come and find me. I actually bought my digital SLR camera today because there's quite a bit of wildlife out here, so if I can catch some, I'll get some photos of that. Otherwise we'll head off and see how we go. Alright, so I've gone a bit of a different way today than I normally go. You can hear I've got my music playing on my pack there. That's the sound safe that we did a video on recently. We're giving away on Monday, doing a bit of a draw, and a few people that have commented on it, and whack it off to someone who thinks they might like it. We'll see what they think. Looks like a little bit of a dig out here. But you can see here, we're coming up on the back of some of these houses here. We're going to go up right around the back of them, like I said. This backs onto the forest. Then we'll branch off this way into some of the better stuff. Surprisingly enough, people still get lost. I don't know if you can make it out the houses through there or not, but it does happen. Might find a place to sit down, do a couple of reviews and have a cup of coffee shortly as well. Well, a little bit later once I've actually done some work. The ridge I've come down here and come to this sort of crossroad, if you will. One way goes up here, this leads to the water tower, which you won't be able to see from here. This way leads through to that sort of track that we saw that was on the footpath before, so that probably go maybe 45 minutes this way as well. And this way goes through to some motorbiking tracks and so on, and you can probably go for 5 or 6 hours solidly. So I might actually go this way today and see where it leads. I can always cut across there to this one. I know this place pretty well. Now we'll head down this way and see what's been happening. This is where I was going to come and do a test on that live straw. In fact, this is not far from where Matthew and I did the test on the live straw. You can see that this is totally dry now. Also was going to do a bit of a fire lighting video and have a cup of coffee, but I don't know if there is a fire ban here, open fire ban. Probably is, but even if there wasn't, given what's been happening in New South Wales recently, it's not worth doing that. I'll just boil it up on the old gas cooker, a bit safer, because the losses there have just been tragic. So yeah, we'll carry on. Some pretty major growth in here since I last came through. Although the track seems quite clear, you can see all this green foliage just shot up. And generally speaking, this track's pretty miserable. You can get lost on it pretty good if you walked off it as it is. If you look through here, well, you could very easily get lost. But now with all this growth here, it'd be even worse if you come off the path here. That's even if there was points of reference, which there generally isn't, this certainly is wouldn't be helping. Anyway, we'll follow this path and see where it leads to. Definitely not used to seeing all this greenage here. Okay, so I'm heading down this trail now. This is on the bottom half of the corridor here. You can see the sun is starting to go down behind the trees here, which means I'd say probably an hour's worth of light left. And so I'm just trying to find a nice place to set up the coffee machine, have a coffee and a chat. Sort of pretty warm day today here. I think it's probably bordering on 30 degrees, 34 maybe. It's cooling down now, of course. A bit of a breeze coming through this forest, but sort of the heat's pretty unbearable for me. I'm not really made for this heat, I don't think, and really can't stand it. In fact, here might be a good place to have a video. And I just sort of really realised today how out of shape I am and unfit, although I've not really just realised it, but this walk in this heat's really shown me, or highlighted the fact for me again, that fitness is really key to this so-called survival or preparedness. You know, you can have all the gimmicks and gadgets in the world, but if you don't have the energy when the shit hits the fan, you're not going to get far or go far or be able to survive long out here in situations like this. So I recently purchased one of these Fitbits. I might do a video on that later. It's really encouraging me to get out there and get some more exercise in, which is what I'm doing today. I'm just looking at a bird behind us here. It's not going to be able to pick it up on this camera, but might try and take a photo of it with the old SLR. It's like a blue fantail type thing. Gorgeous. But yeah, a real wake up call for that. Gotta drop the pounds, drop the weight, and get fitter, and you know, there's no point preaching to people if you can't, if you're not living that lifestyle yourself. So anyway, I'll set up here and have a coffee. And so this is the area I've decided to set up and have a cup of coffee. Here we've got this log that's been felled, obviously, taken out of the way. It may have fallen down by itself by the looks of it. It's certainly been cleared. Looks like it's gone across here, and they've cleared it out of the way. But it's just in the middle of the path here. It's a nice log to sit on. Got that Thermarest C-seat there, just to give a bit of insulation. Not that you need it in these weather. Packs here. I'll get the coffee out, and there's just a bit of bark here that I'm going to use as a nice flat platform for setting that up on. Be very mindful of the dry tinder and conditions out here, so I have got a lot of water there to, just in case something goes horribly wrong, which should be able to put out a fire in a very quick point of space of time if that was to happen. But we'll get this set up. So I'm about to settle down and make myself a bit of a cup of coffee here. I've got this stovetop espresso. I've had it for quite some time, probably 2 years, maybe since I came to Australia. A nice wee bit of kit. And here I've got my water. It's one of those Nalgene, it is an Nalgene bottle, very nice. Now, I'm going to be very careful with this water because this is, now what is it? It's from Matthew's house, and it's this new water that's been, anyway, I can't remember the name, but it's been filtered in such a way that it's got the fluoride removed from the water. Reverse osmosis, that's what it's called. Reverse osmosis filtration. So supposedly it's very, very good for you, and I would agree with any sort of system that's removing chemicals from the water is a good system. Who knows what the government and the councils are putting in your water. The bullshit that they get away with these days. But anywho, this is a little Nalgene bottle again. This is one of the ones that's designed for chemical use, or chemicals. And I've just got coffee in there. I think I'll make a reasonably weak one. So I've got enough for another coffee. Yeah, I'll store enough in there for a couple of coffees. It's going to be pretty weak, but I've had my third or fourth cup today, so it's another one of those things I'm going to have to give up on or cut down on dramatically. Alright, the stove I'm using, this is a stove I picked up. I wanted one to use for my day trips because the Whisper Light, or the MSR cooker, was far too big for taking out for these day trips. Well, I've always used that, but it's not as convenient. So this is the Optimus Crux. It normally fits inside this little bag here, and then the canister will fit inside here, and the stove and everything. This is my GSI Halulite sort of minimalist stove there, but pot set, should I say. Anyway, we'll get this cranking up. This is a really good stove. I've been really impressed by it. It puts out a lot of power. You've got the two different types of canisters, smaller or larger one you can carry. So normally I'd be able to fit my whole cooking kit inside this one pot set here, and then you'd just be able to put the lid on top. That's including the pot grabber and the cigarette lighter or fire steel, whatever you wanted to keep in there. So it's really, really convenient. They were out of those canisters when I went to get some last week, so I'm using this bigger one, which is alright. Just makes it a bit bulkier. But the power this puts out is amazing. The only thing I dislike, I must turn this off before I show you, I don't want to burn myself, is this top is quite flimsy. If I hold that there, I don't know if you can hear that, but it actually seems to shake around now. I've tried tightening that Allen screw, but that doesn't seem to do anything at all. It's just, I guess it's because it's foldable. You can fold it up like that. Maybe that's just the way it's got to be. It's got a ball head under there. Maybe that's the trade-off for having that flexibility and compactness. I'm not sure, but either way, it's when you've got a bigger pot, it's not too much of a problem. But when you've got something tall like this, it feels a little bit unstable. But anyway, it'll do the trick. And we'll just crank that up there, and that is going to take very little time at all. What I'll do is I'll put a little bit of coal in there because it's going to be a bit strong still for me. This is just the ultimate way to enjoy a nice cup of coffee out in the wilderness. This doesn't take up very much space at all. They're pretty safe. You've got to be careful not to fill up the stovetop past the pressure valve, otherwise you could have massive issues with this turning into a bit of flying shrapnel. But assuming you don't do that, that's not going to be far away at all. Might take the top off so you can see it coming out. Hopefully it won't splash right onto the camera. Boiling hot coffee, have a good. Of course, I've still got my music cranking out here. That was a bit of David Gray, and before that a bit of Nina, who wrote the 99 Red Balloons, or 99 Luftballons. You know, that was quite an old song, but she put out some great music. And when I was studying German, that was one of the first. She was one of the first artists I listened to, so a bit of nostalgia there. Yeah, can't be too far away there. Oh, 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 there it goes. And that is done. That was very quick. Luckily that didn't hit the camera. That's pretty much it. I'll just close that up, bring this over, and pour it into here. So that was reasonably quick. I didn't have it blasting up all the way because it's such a big flame, it'll melt this handle. Been there, done that before. And here we have a nice cup of piping hot, freshly roasted Brisbane coffee, and I'll sit back and enjoy that, and then catch up with you guys a bit later on. Alright, well, as you can see, that sun's gotten lower than it was before. We've been at this rest stop for about an hour, having a cup of coffee and doing some videos. Like Mr. Aussie Adventurer always says in his videos, leave no trace. I was brought up in New Zealand along the same principles. Take only photos, leave only footprints. You know, don't leave any of your rubbish behind. If you've made the effort to come out here and enjoy what nature's provided for you, and what the, you know, in this case what the council looks after, the least you can do is not leave your rubbish behind. It's I'm not going to say it, but it's bloody annoying, if you will, politely, to see the crap that people leave out here in the bush, you know. Just broken bottles, beer cans, bloody rednecks, you know, come out here and have a little fire and drink a few babbies and just leave their trash behind. If you can't be bothered taking it out, don't bloody bring it in, I say. And it's yeah, I mean, sometimes some places you go, it's just devastating to see just the quantity of stuff that people leave behind. Anyway, so I really like it when I see people like Mr. Aussie Adventure, old, you know, leave no trace, leave it so it doesn't look like you've even been there as you found it. Brilliant. If you do come across rubbish, if you got the space, maybe pick it up and take it out, you know, if you can do that. Obviously there'll be times when you can't, but if you can, fantastic. If you can't, so be it. But you know, it's been a good walk today. I've enjoyed it. It's very warm. Been nice to have a bit of a stop, have a coffee, listen to the birds, listen to a bit of music, and just chillax. Good way to spend a Saturday and then Sunday, and then work rolls around way too soon. And in a couple of weeks I'll be leaving Australia, flying back off to New Zealand to try and start life back there again, in a different city away from Christchurch where I was before the earthquakes, and head off to Wellington. I have a new job there, so that'll be interesting. It's going to be pretty sad to leave all this behind, and very, very nerve-wracking, just deciding what to do and whether or not this is the right decision for me and my life, and what a screwed up mess that it has become. But anywho, so it is what it is. Got to work on that now and see what comes of it. So Matthew and I will keep working on the next 72 hours sort of channel, and brand, if you will, and there's certainly a few kits that I want to sort of design and test out in New Zealand, because obviously anyone that's watched the news recently will see that it's been besieged by earthquakes recently over the last few years, and I guess it's hitting home to people there that it's time to start getting prepared, you know. For me once, for me twice. Sadly, it's time people woke up and realise the old she'll be right attitude is not right. Yeah, she may very well be right, but she may very well not be right, or she won't be right. And if you've been given this many goes at surviving earthquakes so far, it's time that you're bloody prepared, because there's only how many times you're going to cheat fate and death and get away with it. So anyway, that's sort of a few of the things that we hope to be doing very shortly when I get settled over there, and here's hoping it'll be a move for the best. Alright, we'll come back upon that dry riverbed that we crossed earlier, and we're on the final home straight out of here. You can see that sun's just going down below the ridge here, and sooner or later, like sooner than rather than later, it's going to be very dark in here. Seen a couple of mountain bikers just before, which is the first time I've seen people in here for a very long time. I'm often surprised at just how few people I see in here. But anyway, it's been a good walk, I've enjoyed it. This is the home stretch now. Carrying a reasonable amount of gear with me today. It's been very hot. I've certainly proven to myself that I am unfit, or not as fit as I should be. I often surprise myself at how much I can get done, given my fitness level and weight. I've been overweight, but there's a long way to go to improve that, and we're going to definitely work on it, because I want to be around a long time for my kids, and want to be around a long time to enjoy the things I enjoy, like climbing and this hiking. And certainly if I go the way I'm going, I'll have a heart attack in the next 5 years, and that'll be it. As pessimistic as it sounds, it's probably true. So definitely time to work on that. And here we are, just coming up to the top of this bit of a hill here. This is the one you saw earlier down at the path that splits off. And shouldn't really get puffed walking up a short hill like that, really. I've got to work on that, something wicked. And here we are, coming back down. That is the end of that walk. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it. It really is a beautiful place out here. It's sad to see how little it's frequented, but at the same time it's a bonus for those people, few people that do frequent it, because it's kept in good condition. You can come out here and escape from modern life, or from life, stress, whatever, and chances of you being interrupted and bothered are pretty slim. So I like that about it. And I will head to my father's house, which is just a kilometre from here, and go and have dinner with my brother and catch up. So that's pretty much it. Cheers very much for watching. Appreciate your views as always, and your subs. Keep up the comments, questions, and we'll catch you later. Just got home after that day out in the bush, and when I was at Matthew's house, I don't know if you can see this, here it goes. found this damn tick gnawing on my neck. Having quite the feast, and so now I'm afraid it's time for the whole body tick check, just to make sure any more of them haven't found themselves into even worse places, having a bit of a buffet. So I wasn't impressed, to say the least. I'm not a fan any sort of creepy crawlies, but I was pretty disgusted to find one of those on me. So anyway, time to find out if any more of them have decided to call Terra Phillip home.